G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and Freewell have reached out to me and asked me to review their M2 magnetic filters. Magnetic means the M, and 2 means version 2, and these are sublime. Yes, and as you can see, there they are. They're all loaded up, so straight off, you know, you can actually compound and turn a 10 stop into a 13 stop, into a 19 stop, or a 16 stop. You can put a CPL or a UV filter mixed in with that, and any variation from 3 stops all the way up. So it's a wonderful system, and it even has the lens cap on top to keep them all safe. So if you're going and doing a shoot like waterfalls and you're having the same setup, the same filter setup, you can put this on top and you're nice and safe. So let's have a look at it. It starts with a step-up ring, and this is the 82mm version. It just screws on the front thread of your camera. You find out what thread width your camera is by looking on the inside of your cap, and it will have a number there, like 82mm, because this is, yeah, 82mm. See? Sharp as. Sorry. You screw the step-up ring in. You don't go too tight, so you go nice and firm. You go firm and then back it off just a smidge. So it just sits in that. It's firm, it's on, but it's not tight. If you put it on tight, you may never get it off ever again. So let's take one of these filters. We'll take the UV, because in my opinion, the UV is the least valuable in all of these filters. Not from Freewell, but just a filter in general. We'll go outside in a minute and I'll show you what these can actually do. But here's how it goes. So it fits on, and then this is why we're using the least valuable one. Like that shake is the gimbal inside the actual lens. This is not, it's not moving. Ready? Look. There it is. What do you reckon? Is it firm enough? It feels firm enough. And when you put a couple more on, likewise, they're not going to fall off, and if you bump them, they're going to stay on, and I think that is very, very important. Lenses come in this glorious little pouch. It's a leather pouch. I'm not sure if it's full leather. The way to choose whether it's leather or not is to set fire to it. If it melts, it's not leather. If it doesn't melt, it is leather. I don't want it not to be leather and I melt my pouch. So, sorry. It looks really snug and nice, as you can see from this footage, and oh, if you smell it, the smell is divine. Not a kid in the world. Have a look at that. Oh, so good. Oh, it's worth it just for that. And you'll see inside it has these plasticky covers. These keep your lenses safe from one another. So you simply pop one of them in each of these pouches, and they are safe. There's no extra room really for another one, perhaps one more if there were another one in the set. And they do have the pouches here. My concern is that it'd be great if these were cushioned rather than are a bit rough. I don't think they're going to scratch the actual filters themselves, but they feel a bit rough and a little bit less than mwah, whereas the rest of the filter kit feels like mwah, spot on. And you can just carry that around. That can easily fit in your camera bag. It's got 2 zips in case you need to access it from both sides. Let's go outside and I'll show you what these can do, and you can have a look at the quality of the actual glass. We are down here in a beautiful sunny Burleigh on the coast, and I've framed up a shot. Here's the shot so you can see what we're working with and the settings that we're working with. So I'm going to apply to this straight away the UV filter, and you'll see if it makes any difference. So we'll pop that on. Let's see how easy these go on. It doesn't change the need for change of exposure at all, and I'm going to shoot that. So that's a combination of our original shot and our UV shot to see if you think a UV filter is required in these circumstances. Now let's add the CPL. It's a circular polarizing filter, and the beauty of a circular polarizing filter is it takes the glare out and increases the saturation, but you lose a stop of light. So if we look down here, I need to now calculate down a stop of light. That has taken 2 stops of light off for us, which is really, really interesting. This is the shot we have, and let's take that with our CPL, and you can tell me if it's taken the glare out of the shot between this shot and the other. Let's leave the CPL on and put our 3 stop, which is an ND8. Going to pop that on the front. That means it changes 3 stops of light for us. So if I head to here, and I now need to go down a further 3 stops, and that arrives right there, and I'm going to shoot And what we're actually doing is seeing how the long exposure capabilities of the camera are extended in the light because of the filter. So let's take the CPL off and let's add just the 3-stop. I need to calculate again for the settings of this, and as you see, look, it adds a stop of light, so I need to come back right there and take that shot. Yep, we're looking good. We now take off the 3-stop. I'm going to put on our 6-stop or our ND64. We pop that in there. We adjust again, so that takes us down another 3 stops, so we can get longer exposure. And I'm currently working on a 1/6 of a second. So I take that shot, then I'm going to add the CPL so you can see if that works. Normally with a CPL, as you change the outside, this is a set CPL. So it'd be interesting to see the results that we get from this. Now if I take off the CPL, let's take off the ND64. Now I'm going to put the ND1000 on. That's a 10 stopper, and it's perfect for situations like this where it's really bright and you want to take some slow shutter photography. So let's jump on that, and as you can see, it's super dark. So we'll just bring that all the way back up, and it gives us a total of 2 seconds of exposure. So let's shoot that with 2 seconds of exposure. And now I'm going to add the CPL to that because it's so glary down here. There's so much water on the rocks that surely this will help. Now let's go. See, we have to adjust for that extra stop of light. And we've even got some people there, which will make this interesting, this shot, to see how they blur out and what that looks like.
You'll note in a couple of these shots that actually the color looks different. In some cases that might be a white balance change or a hue change, and some filters do that, so just keep that in mind.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 3-stop to the 10-stop. So we're looking at 13 stops of light that we're saving now, and we'll see how quality this is as we extend this exposure. And you will see I've gone from 30, well, I can go 30 seconds, and I'm actually going to take the aperture down and I'm going to expose this correctly. I'm going to shoot that, and we're going to see how effective these filters are when they're really bright. We want to use them to slow down some water or some motion or some action. In this case, we want to take the glare off as well. Do you think they are working? Do you think it's a winner? What would you say about these? Now we're going to get out of this circumstance because it's so hot and it's so bright, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about these filters and some of the finer aspects of them before we wrap it up. So a couple of things that you need to know about these filters: they stack on and they stick, they don't fall off. We've covered that already. They also have writing on the side that indicates what sort of filter it is. The writing is a little bit small, but it's really helpful. It doesn't just say ND1000, it says ND1000 and then 10 stops. So if you're struggling to work out what the neutral density rating of each filter is, you can just look at how many stops you need to calculate for, which is the really important information. They have some grips on the sides, so you can spin them around. There's no need to spin them around, but you can actually pull them off. They do stick together. When you pull them all off at the same time, they can tend to stick together and be a little bit tricky to separate because you're obviously using delicate hands, so be aware of that. And then they fit in this nice pouch, and they fit nice and safe. You can even put them in as a load, or you can put them in individually. I would recommend doing individually, obviously, so they're easier to access on the other side. The other thing to note is when you're using a really wide lens, so if I use a 14 to 30, when I get down past the 20 mil, if I put more than one filter on, you see it in the corners. So on a 14 mil, if I put one filter on, you would see it crop the corners and the vignette. Now that's fine because you can crop into that, but you do lose that edge piece, which you could, I guess, AI fill in later on if you wanted to, but you need to be aware of it. So if you're shooting really wide and you want to put a bulk filters on the front of your lens, it will inhibit the actual area you have to use and to play with and to shoot. I've wanted magnetic filters for a long time and was stoked when Freewell said, hey, do you want to try our new M2 range? It's just come out, it's brand new. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you there. If I've missed anything or anything's unvague, if anything's unvague, like, come on.
But if anything is vague, or you're like, well, what about this? Or I wasn't sure about this, please comment down below. Love to have a chat with you there. There's links in the description below. I've used Freewell filters for years, and I've really appreciated them because of the cost. The cost has been fantastic. Here it is for this set, and you can't go wrong with that, because filters can get very expensive very quickly, and these are extremely affordable. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh my gosh, I need to put my cap round. Go on. Something in my eye. Gosh.